was first getting into photography, there was a camera shop in Poole, and this camera shop had about 10 of these certain type of camera in the front window, and I was fascinated because this camera was so well designed in that it felt so good to handle in the hand. It has a meter in, and what I'm talking about is the Nikon Nikkormat. And what I was impressed with how well this camera seemed to hold in the hand, but I was a bit shocked. It was the used price for this camera was £100, and this was back in 1978. Well, it took me rather a long time to get a Nikkormat. I went down the Pentax route and used other cameras, but when I did get a Nikkormat, I was very impressed about it. The Nikkormat story starts in the 1960s. The Nikon F had become a very well respected camera, but was expensive, and Nikon wanted to break into the amateur market. So it launched the Nikkormat, and there were several models, and including a non-metered version. And by the time we get to 1977, we are on something called the FT3, and this is a FT3. The Nikkormat has several design features which are slightly different to other cameras of that era. The shutter speeds are near the lens, which is similar to the Olympus. So we have not on the top but on the lens there, and we have shutter speeds from 100 down to bulb. To open the camera, we open it at the bottom, as you can see there, the shutter. This one I bought at Photographica in London this year, and I was very pleased to find it because it is in lovely condition. It has got a little dent in this corner, but apart from that it is in really nice condition. Now, another feature of the FT3 and all the Nikkormats was this little window on the top for your metering. You could also meter through the viewfinder. In the viewfinder you have a minus at the top and a plus, which is the other way round of the cameras of this stage, of this era. We have a lovely indicator, a frame indicator. One slightly odd thing as well is to get the meter working, we have to bring the Rhine lever out. This has got a problem. If you're left-eyed, it's going to stab you in the eye, but it's not that bad, and I find I can use it without a problem, even though it's slightly stabbing me in the eye. How to use this camera? Obviously load the film first, make sure the ISO is correct at the bottom here. To set it, you press this here and then move the ISO. Then select your shutter speed or aperture, depending on which you want to make the priority. I'm setting this on 125. Focus, make sure the lever's out, get the needle in the middle, press and wind on. And when you've got to the end of the film, you've got the convention of the bottom button, which you press and then wind back. What was different about this FT3 to the other Nikkormats, you may ask? And the difference was very simply that although you still had the Nikon F mount, the lenses up to that stage, to link with the aperture, had this sort of bunny ears, as they were called. But Nikon was developing a new system which linked on the aperture of the lens to the camera. And these are called IA lenses, in-depth aperture. And that was meant you could fit the lens on slightly faster than you could before. It was just easier to link. The FM and FE, which came after, used the same link. So the rabbit ears went, and you've got this new system called, as I said, IA lenses. I think there is a change to the type of battery which went to the bottom, but apart from that, the camera remained very similar to the previous model. This launched in 1977, only lasted a couple of years, and as I said, were replaced by the FM and FE. If you find one, they are slightly cheaper than those cameras, but are incredibly well made, and I would strongly recommend them. Let's see how I got on using the camera when I used it in the field. The lens I'm actually using is a 20mm Nikkor lens, and it gives an extremely wide angle view, but I'm delighted how the lens is performing. I'm delighted how well the camera is performing. These were taken in an evening and the light works well. It's quite contrasty, but the camera is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It just feels intuitive camera. I would quite like to try, which I have done, the standard lens, but the 20mm lens is fantastic for landscape. I have got a yellow filter on this which really enhances the blue sky, making this lovely grey. This is near Corfe Castle in Dorset, and these woodland scenes are a little bit on the low-key side, but it's the effect I wanted. I quite like the way the light is reflecting off the bark of the tree. Corfe Castle in the distance here, maybe a 35mm lens could be more effective. However, this is a great camera to use. I will endeavour to use it in the future. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.